Yes. First, I will start the recording. Okay. A very good afternoon to one and all. I am Dr. A.S. Pathan. It's my immense pleasure to welcome all of you on behalf of Civil Engineering Department, Devgiri Institute of Engineering and Management Study, Aurangabad, and in association with Indian Water Work Association, Iowa, Aurangabad Local Center for this online webinar on water vulnerability and adaptation. Devgiri Institute of Engineering and Management Studies is known for imparting technical and professional skill among the students with aim to create a better tomorrow for the society. DIMS is known for nurturing and maintaining quality environment for academic excellence, for bringing about social change. DIMS imparting holistic training to all the students so that they develop right kind of the attitude, knowledge, skill which will help them to serve the nation in better way. To cater the needs of all the student, staff member and all other professionals in the engineering field, DIMS is providing them guidance from the expert of various fields through this webinar series. To brief about importance of water, vulnerability and adaptation, today we are pleased to have Dr. H.K. Ramaraju sir, is a professor and head, Department of Civil Engineering, Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering, Bangalore, Karnataka, India. Dr. U.D. Kulkarni sir, Chairman, Iowa, Aurangabad Local Center. Dr. Ullas Shivurkar sir, Director, DIMS, Aurangabad. Dr. G.R. Gande sir, Head PG, DIMS. Dr. S.D. Shinde sir, Head Civil Engineering Department. And all the students, staff member and all the participants. A warm welcome to all of you. According to the Anne Soni, president of Walt Disney, define success on your own terms, achieve it by your own rules, and build a life you are proud to live. Such a personality we are having today as a guest who is always concentrated on how far he has come rather than how far he has left to go. Before requesting Dr. H.K. Ramaraju sir to address the session, I would like to introduce him shortly. Dr. H.K. Ramaraju sir is a professor and head Department of Civil Engineering, Dayananda Sagar College of Engineering, Bangalore, Karnataka, India. He did his PG Environmental Engineering from University Vishweshwarya College of Engineering, Bangalore in 1995 and PhD Civil Environmental University Vishweshwarya College of Engineering, Bangalore in 2001. He completed eight funded research projects and presently he is working on 2 live projects. That is, the first project from the live project is study on decentralized treatment for Varshabavarthi Valley wastewater funded by CISEE Vision Group, Government of Karnataka. Second live project he is working on synthesis of Kendrumuk iron ore mine tailing based geopolymer aggregate using fly ash as a precursor in construction industry by KIOCL in association with Ministry of Steel, Government of India. He published 116 scientific research publications in various national and international journals and proceedings. He is also edited 7 technical volumes. He worked on various government committees. He is honored with 7 national and international awards. Such an amazing personality we are having today. With this short introduction, I request Dr. H.K. Ramaraju sir to address the session. At the same time, I would like to request all the students and participants, if you have any question or doubt, kindly post in the chat box. Over to you, Dr. Ramaraju sir.
Thank you, Patan sir. Thank you. Good afternoon to all. First of all, I would like to thank the Indian Water Works Association, Aurangabad Center, and Devgiri Institute of Engineering and Management and Studies, the Aurangabad management of that college, Our IWA, Aurangabad Center, the chairman, Dr. UD Kulkarni, and the executive council member, Dr. Parag Sadgir, and the secretary of the local center, Dr. Sarda, and Deogiri Institute of Engineering and Management Studies director, Dr. Ulas Shirurkar, and all the students for giving me an opportunity to deliver that talk. Friends, as you know, water is a major resource. We have to maintain it. We have to preserve that one and make it as sustainable for the future generations. As you know, our natural capital in air, water, soil, biodiversity, ecosystem is continually being encroached upon. There is an urgent need to protect our heritage and traditions that are under threat. It is our duty, of one and all, to preserve this precious resource. Friends, as you know, you could have heard, generally in Karnataka, we would like to call Dr. D.V. Gundappa, Mankutimana Kagga, as one of the, it is like a Bhagavad Gita of Karnataka, that is what I can tell. 1950s only, almost 78 years back, he has written a very good slogans which clearly reflects what exactly things are going on. I would like to tell that of course, translation is not, I think it is not required. Definitely you can understand. Prakriti and Avarta, that is nature. Manuja, ತಿದ್ದುತ್ತಿರುವಂತೆ ವಿಕೃತಗೊಳಿಸುವನಂ ಆಕೆ ಅಂಗಗಳ ಭೂ ಕೃಷಿಕ ರಸತಂತ್ರಿ ಶಿಲ್ಪಿ ವಾಹನ ಯಂತ್ರಿ ವ್ಯಾಕೃತಿಸರೇನವಳ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. Continuation that, yes, ಹೊಸತನವೇ ಮಾಡು, ಹಳಸಿಕೆಯೆಲ್ಲ ಸಾವು ಬಿಡು, ರಸವು ನವನವತೆಯಿಂದ ಅನುದಿನವೂ ಹೊಮ್ಮಿ, ಹಸನೊಂದು ನುಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಸರುತ್ತಿರೆ ಬಾಳ್ ಚೆಲುವು ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. Friends, as you know, in the name of industrialization, urbanization, population growth, several changes are taking place in society. We are going against the nature. Nature has already taught us the lessons like volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, floods, droughts. Now, whatever we are seeing now, corona, the diseases like this, which is beyond our limits and imagination, all the things are happening which is not in our control. Yes, God has given enough. He has given enough for the mankind. In sense, it is not for people are thinking it is for selfishness. And another cause is greediness. Technology solutions is not a major problem. A change of mindset is required for the effective implementation of the technology. Dear friends, I would like to tell certain things. In sense, a man, you cannot understand the importance of the water. We never know the worth of water till the well is dry. When there is no water, then only we will understand the importance of water. Being the student life is a golden life where it is an opportunity for you people to learn, to enhance your skills, to mold yourself, following the footsteps of your seniors who have done the wonderful and pioneering works in the field. You have to follow them. Respect the value of water and save each drop counts. Here, based on that theme, we have some issues. Of course, about student chapter and their enrollment, I will take at the end to discuss further. Now, I would like to concentrate on specifically the water, the several issues which are interrelated. In the sense, integrated water resources management, it's a part of the water resource now. Valuing water. It is social, cultural, environment and climate change. It depends on several factors because When you are going to value the water, it depends on number one, first of all, the culture, the social environment, and other factors. Quality and quantity also depends. If it is a bad quality water, water is contaminated. If it is a sewage water, nobody values that one. Nobody respects that one. But in water, in general, you take Vande Mataram, Sujalam, you take anything related to India, specifically we are the people with our, if you go back to our history and all, see how exactly things are going on, have gone earlier. We always worship the water as a goddesses. Ganga, Yamuna, you take anything, the rivers, all are given the life to the humanity. If you take the civilizations which were started along the banks of river, starting from Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, where good quality and quantity of water was available, nowadays we'll move far away from that places. Why? No. Nonsense. In sense, we'll generally tell that, oh, bad smell, mosquito problem. At the same time, floods. So many things we are going to put the reasons. If you go back to the history, all civilizations which were started along the rivers, they enjoyed the life. Today, we are in this situation because of their effort, whatever the effort and whatever the earlier kings or Raja, Maharaja, whatever we are going to talk, they all constructed the tanks, dams and all. No technology. By the available technology, they did wonderful things. And they changed the world in their own way. Now, we are in the developed, urbanized, technologically very strong. But still, some of the things, it is not in our control. If you take the water quality, several issues, water quality problems, of course, natural problem. In sense, it is the underground water, natural hydrogeology, granite, gneiss rock belt, due to which we are facing the problems like the parameters like arsenic, fluoride, total dissolved solids, iron concentration, which is the above limits, fluoride and all. And of course, we are facing the problem. That is one portion. Whereas other is man-made, anthropogenic activities. Man is an expert in creating the nuisance because of his efforts. So many things are taking place because of his greediness, selfishness and all. Water quality problems, water quantity problems, everything we are facing. Now, it is a time to gauge all those things, where exactly we are going wrong. How exactly it is affecting on our environment. Is it finally the climate change, global warming, what exactly we are going to talk. But I would like to bring out certain issues, how exactly we are treating the water, where exactly we have gone wrong, and what is its effects on the environment and climate change, and where all we can play a role. That too, you, the youngsters, have to play a role in the days to come, because the future is in your hands. Let us take the slide so that I can throw more light on certain issues. Social and cultural, the habits of the people. We use the water in different ways. Different communities, different caste, seasonal variations, pre-monsoon, monsoon, post-monsoon, something like that. So many changes are there, and we are going to use the water in different ways. Somebody may use the water for agriculture purposes. Somebody, they may use the water for fishing or for horticulture or the factories. So many ways are there, but how exactly we are using the water, treating the water, recycle, reuse, recovery. There are so many issues which they are going to understand in the days to come. Here, the current climate change future projections, how exactly things are happening because of the water quality problems, contamination, it may be air pollution, other things, how exactly it is affecting on that. Everything I'm going to touch. And impacts of climate change on water resources. If the climate change takes place, what exactly is going to happen? Physically in the water resources sector, there can be major irrigation project or minor irrigation project or small ponds, lakes, springs, anything like that. Generally, we are going to call that as a water sector. How exactly it is the effect will be there. Then adaptation strategies. As human beings, we have to adapt to those strategies. That is also important. And environment and climate change related issues, policies, all those things I'm going to discuss. Of course, energy security and climate change are the two of the great challenges of our time. These challenges share a common solution: technology. As I already told, technology solutions is not a major problem. Several technologies have come. Our worry whether we are going to adopt that technology, we are going to use that technology effectively. That is where exactly we have to think. Whether that is sustainable in nature, whether it is feasible, economical, sustainable. Some of the options, being the engineers, we have to think and act positively so that we can see the better days in the future. Are we heading towards the climate change? Some recent extreme events that we know: 2002 drought in India, of course, where the temperature was very high. Of course, that we know, 20-day heat wave during the May 2003 in Andhra Pradesh. When the heat wave takes place, several deaths and all that we have seen. The temperature almost 45 to 50 degrees centigrade. That is what exactly noticeable. Thousands of deaths attributed extremely in cold conditions in India and Bangladesh during January 2003. Of course, drought situation, generally we are faced with several drought situations in India, which we know. And severe hot wave conditions that we have seen, specifically Bihar and Uttar Pradesh and all. And the other major worry, specifically Mumbai rains. 940 mm of rainfall in a single day, that is in 8 hours, within 8 hours. Generally, if you take an average normal rainfall for the entire 12 months, if you take, suppose if you take Bangalore, the average normal rainfall of Bangalore is almost 1100 mm. 1100 mm average normal rainfall starting from January to December. Average normal rainfall is almost taken the 40 years average. Then they have come, they indicated that value. You assume like that. Suppose in the summer, the heavy, maybe the month of August, September, something like that, the rain may go to 20 mm. That is all. For that only we cannot come out from the house, come out of the house. So many things are going to space. You assume that 940 mm of rainfall in 8 hours, that is which Mumbai in 2000. At that time, you have seen, starting from one area to another, they used the boats and several deaths, casualties, so many things which happened. Groundwater contamination, since all water quality problems, so many issues rise during that time. Of course, you could have seen in the TV, because since the Maharashtra is a part of that one, you could have seen how exactly government played a role, either central government or state government, bringing the Air Force, Navy, everything into action. And several other countries, they came forward to help the India. So many things have happened. Of course, this is in general how exactly the variation in temperature is taking place. It is given here. Of course, it is all literature survey what I have collected the information. See, anything you talk about the climate change or global warming, it is all secondary data. About the water resources, our water resource department, it may be surface water or groundwater, whatever the data we obtain from that, based on that only we can talk. I acknowledge them also because major data we have taken from them. Whatever the data, studies carried out by our Central Groundwater Board, which is plays a major role in the whatever the results I'm presenting here, and conclude on those things finally. See, humans have transformed the earth in the last 50 years that we know. If you refer our Geological Survey of India maps, Survey of India, if you collect the maps, see in 1940 how exactly the area was, how exactly the country India was. In 2020, you see how exactly, where is the forest, where is the dense forest, where are the animals survived during 1940s now. It is all in the pictorial representation. If you see the maps, if you sit and calmly sit and refer, engineering students, when you are doing your extensive survey and all, definitely you can visit your local centers, Survey of India, and collect the maps. Request them to give the 1940 and the latest 2020 map, or 2011. 11 they have completed. Because again, 2020 and onwards, they have to reproduce another, by carrying with actual studies, they have to produce another maps that is not yet come. But now the maps are available till 2010-11. You take that maps, see what are the changes that are taking place from last 50, 60 years. Really unimaginable. Major things, deforestation. All the forest is now, no, you cannot examine that, oh, 1940 forest now, it is all the layouts, it is all the cities or the towns, something like that. Exertion of the fossil fuels, initiative, usage of the petrol, diesel, kerosene, so many things like that. Industrial pollution, then increase in water usage. What is the quantity of water using the early days for in the agriculture sector? Now, what is the quantity of water you are using now in the agriculture sector or in the industrial sector or in the domestic sector? Everything differs. War dependency on electricity. Now, of course, changes have been taken place from last 5-10 years. Now the usage of solar energy is more that you can really see, and the people are using that solar energy as one of the alternative sources now. You could just the things, weather parameters like monsoon, frequent monsoon failures, uneven special temporal distribution of rainfall. Because if you take a certain state, a bigger area, at the one end the rain is there, at the other end there is no rain at all. Maybe with a difference of 300-400 kilometers. Because wherever the dense forest is there, wherever the greenery is there, generally the rainfall is more in that area. But wherever there is no all drought area, no forest, something like that, where we can easily expect the lesser rainfall at all. Water, quantum, shrinkage of water bodies, surface and groundwater depletion, quality, intrusion of the seawater. At the same time, this is also we are facing. Even though the Chennai is located along the coastal river, or Bombay, which is located in the coastal region, or West Bengal, but those cities are facing the water quality problems, not quantity problem, water quality problem, because salinity, TDS is more, conductivity is more in the water. How they can drink the water? For that, they have to depend on the available technologies, maybe already discipline technologies like reverse osmosis technology or ion exchange or other absorption technique, so many things like that. There are technologies are available, but how best those helps in solving the water crisis? That is also major issues. Food security to fall in agricultural production. At the same time, certain plants cannot be grown in certain regions, certain seasons. Unseasonal rainfall, because now the variation in rainfall also, because generally in only the rainfall is going to take place in the month of April to again May, June to again to August, September, October, something like that. But now the pre-monsoon, some of the things are changed because of this. We can easily link to that to the climate change only. But climate change again, the things, urbanization, industrialization, population growth, decrease in forest area, so many things which are interrelated that in a better way. But here, unseasonal rainfall, frequent droughts and floods, which you have already experienced starting from tsunami and all. Droughts, so maybe 15-20 years generally India is seeing the droughts also with scanty rainfall. There is no rainfall. Several deaths because of the less rainfall and all that you have seen. Increase in salinity of irrigation water and land, where salinity is more because of the water table. Basically, if the area is located along the seashore or coastal belt and all, coastal ecosystem is completely spoiled because flooding of cyclones where the people living around that area, they are also in the dangerous status. Sea level, rise, land use changes, heavy urbanization along the coastal region, because as whenever the water is available, that to nearby area, if there is no limitation, there is no the regulation to the government in the local area government, the people are automatically they go and put their shelter and all, they'll put their hut and they'll start living there. How exactly things are? What exactly things are happening? What is its contribution? And really, it spoils the entire atmosphere. That is what I can tell. As key questions about the climate system and its relation to humankind. What changes have occurred? Observations, temperature changes. Earlier, 37, 30 degrees, whatever now, the temperature is changing. Precipitation, snow, ice cover, sea level, circulation, extremes. You take any tank, any bridge or tank, whatever the water we have stored there, because of rising temperature, evaporation losses are more than the groundwater recharge. That is one of the drawback. Even though water is stored in certain tank, if the temperature is more, what will happen? Automatically, the water evaporates. Precipitation. Then less groundwater recharge, because of whatever the silt and all it deposits in the water tank, what will happen? That acts as a barrier. It's like almost a cemented one. So it will not allow the water to percolate or penetrate. Permeability is reduced, capacity is reduced. Automatically, there will be less recharge in the surrounding area. All these things are happening, but here the government at most it can take a step. How best all the tanks, available tanks can be desilted. Use that desilted effectively as a fertilizer in the agriculture sector. That can be done. The government that should be. I mean, the government of India should take the action. They should instruct all the state government do this. So it may be major irrigation project or minor irrigation. Anytime desilt the zone instead of increasing the capacity of the tanks or increasing the area or going for the new tanks, constructing the new tanks and all. Better use the existing tanks effectively. That should be done. Of course, as the urbanization, industrialization is taking place, definitely we need the more tanks also. Depending upon the area, topographical features, definitely that can be, government can easily act on those things also. But existing usage is also important, where I am concentrating and I mean requesting for that one, the government action on those things. Of course, if you simulation, generally, whatever the data we are going to collect, being the academicians, what we'll do, we'll use some softwares and we'll do the simulations and we'll do the sensitivity analysis of the models and all, natural variation, forcing agents, global climate change, regional climate, and high impact stabilization. Of course, we are going to consider all these factors when you are going to do the simulation or modeling and all, and finally we'll observe those things. But of course, whatever the things we are represented here, which clearly reflects how exactly changes are taking place. Of course, this is exactly the other the map showing the how exactly things are happening. It may be from the fossil fuels, maybe vehicles, vehicle pollution, maybe oxides of carbon, oxides of nitrogen, oxides of sulfur, major contribution towards the temperature rise and ozone depletion and rising the temperature. All these things again, which is represented here, the concentration and all. This is the secondary data what we have collected. Observe widespread warming and all. The temperature exactly is rising. Of course, the scientists clearly indicate that now 2 to 2.5 degree of temperature is already raised because of the developments in the name of industrialization, urbanization. But the things are, again, it will become worse and worse. But we have to take utmost care how best that can be taken care. In sense, growing more trees. Where all it is possible, try to reduce the, use the natural resources so that artificial or whatever the non-conventional resources is possible, that we should use those things so that use of fossil fuels can be reduced, either going for the bicycle or planting the more trees, something like that. There are so many strategies which we have to follow in the days to come, carpooling and all, because vehicles, all the people are taking the vehicle or going for the major, in sense, public transportation. Some of the things which is a need of the hour now, but we are not caring for that because it is my time, it is my job, it is my money. I am going to pay maybe 110 rupees or 105 rupees that I am going to pour the petrol or diesel. It is I am going to pay. I am not taking from anybody. It is my liberty to use the car or my liberty to take the vehicle, something like that. The things are happening. It is all selfishness. But here, as a common person should think, where the government should also act positively by providing the facilities. Because see, I am telling that carpooling or buses, where it can be used by sense, whether the government can provide all those things, sufficient time, required time and all. There are faults from the government and there are faults from our end also. Mutual cooperations are required. Some of the developments are required and mutual discussions are required to move forward. It may be from the government end or from the public end. Things are required. Of course, how exactly the temperature is varying and all from which is given from the 1860 to almost 2000 we have taken here, the data and all. Of course, warmest 12 years of exactly temperature, where the high temperature loss which is noticed here, which is presented here. These are secondary data, what I collected from the Central Groundwater Board literature and all. Regions of the disappropriate changes in heavy precipitation, which is given here. Of course, time series of the climate indication, which is given here. Moderate events or exactly changes are taking place, which is presented here. And again, sea level rise and all. Of course, these are self-explanatory. I don't want to go in depth in detail, but you can easily understand what the changes are taking place and all. I can easily forward this to your office. Also, whatever the presentation details are there, I can easily go through it to understand in a better way. Of course, these are some of the things how exactly we are taking place, because some of the things we are talking that changes in glaciers. Some of the foreign companies like USA, UK, Japan, they are talking that, oh, if the climate changes take place, who is going to suffer? if the climate change happens, the sufferers are some of the foreign countries where they are located like island, because around the sea, in the middle only, they have their own area and all those things. At the same time, if the water table rises, automatically those cities will be submerged first. Take the Netherlands, there is no land at all. Along the seashore, they have constructed the embankment and they are staying there. If the water table rises, automatically they will be submerged. India, which is located in the elevated places, nothing will happen. Because nothing will happen to us. And since we, as a responsible citizen of India, we should take utmost care. Of course, our government is taking and we are all working towards that one. But still, further strengthening is required. Each and every person should understand, hey, it is my property, it is my country, it is my state, it is my area, something like that. That self-involvement is very, very important. We should understand and work towards the better environment for the better days to come. Of course, Glacier National Park, exactly it was there. And what all the things has happened, of course, this we have taken from the Dr. Akhilesh Gupta of NCMER. That data I have presented here. Of course, this is some of the data which I have taken, how exactly things are happening, how exactly it was 1979 and 2003. These are all the secondary data which you have procured from some of the consultants, some of the authors, which is some of the journals what I have taken, and the Central Groundwater Board, which is being here. Of course, carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide, which are the major contributors from our air pollution, how the things are happening. Projections for the future changes in climate. Greater, which reference we have given here. Of course, we can easily go through it. Of course, projected patterns of precipitation for changes. How exactly changes are taking place and all. Precipitation increases very likely in high latitudes, which is given here, and also decreases in some of the subtropical regions, which is presented here. And projections of the future changes in climate. How exactly changes are going to happen. Very likely that hot streams or heat waves, precipitation events will continue to become more frequent. It is very difficult to tell, but it purely depends on us also, how exactly you are playing a role, because it's not one man, entire the world. Because some countries doing their one thing, oh, we are doing the eco-friendly approach or something like that, or environmental friendly, zero discharge or zero effect on the environment, something like that. People are coming out. So many companies, like if you take Toyota or if you take Mahindra, Tata Consultancy, so many people are coming with so many technologies, but how effectively they are working for the better environment, that is very, very important. Of course, here, either Ministry of Environment and Ecology or State Pollution Control Board or Central Pollution Control Boards, in addition to that, water boards, all these, that is what it is called as Integrated Water Resource Management, IWRM. They have to sit together and come to a common conclusion for the better days. Of course, these are the things. This is very, very important. Whatever I am talking now, how exactly sea level rise or temperature is happening, precipitation, you can easily refer. Health, what is its effect on the health? Then agriculture, forest, water resources. This is one of the important issue where exactly we are thinking on the World Water Day. As UNDP, now this time they have proposed the value water. Of course, UNDP yearly proposes certain theme. Based on that theme, generally they are going to celebrate the World Water Day, which is the part, because as you know, water is the basic needs of the society, which covers all the points, because it is all interrelated. All the living things live water. Without water, nothing can survive on the earth. It may be plant, animal, whatever it may be. We need the water for the survival of the all living things. That is what exactly reflects. And water supply, water quality, competition for the water. How exactly competition is happening, you would have seen. Now, water quality, quantity. You knew about the quality, quantity. Different states. Between the different states, it may be Tamil Nadu or Maharashtra, or Andhra Pradesh or Karnataka. Again, if you go to Goa, anything between the states, because you know, so the scientists, they already indicated, if next world war happens, it is for the water. Because it is the need of the hour. We need the water. Without that, nobody can live on the earth's surface. At the same time, how genuinely, effectively you are using the water before that reaches to the either Arabic Samudra or coastal region, how exactly you are going to use that water. That is also important. Let us use the water effectively and benefit from that, irrespective of the country, state. Let us, because what is there now, it belongs to all, everyone. Let us use it effectively, equally distributable. Amicably, this thing should be settled and used effectively. Maybe different states. We have to work together. The government or the policy makers, environmental, they have to sit together and work amicably and see that everybody is equally benefited from that. because it is a God's gift. Rain comes and goes. Rain will not tell I'm going to come this area, that area, something like that. It is all God's gift. But when God has given, it is our duty to use it effectively, mutually. We should be happy by using that one without targeting, oh, you people have used that TMC of water, you people have using that TMC of water, something like that. To avoiding all those things, we have to be one. We should follow brotherly approach in solving the issues and see that all are equally benefited. Of course, coastal areas, again, in coastal area, erosion of beaches, you could have seen when the rain comes, automatically it washes away everything and finally reaches the beaches or the near coastal belt. Coastal lands, landsliding, that you could have seen. Loss of habitat, species, that is also we have seen. Natural areas and all. Some of the things which you have presented here. Of course, water sector and all, this is very, very important. Water sector and vulnerability. Whatever I have spoken till that one, of course, everything is a part of this one only. How exactly things are going to happen. Keeping that water as a central point. It is like our heart. Without heart, we cannot live on the earth's surface. That is all. No, nobody, of course, whether you are dead or whether you are alive, purely depend upon our heartbeats. And since here, without water, nothing will happen. You take any sector, it may be water supply sector, ecosystem, water and power generations, how effective, there are different uses, flooding and drought, coast and delta, how exactly things are happening. All these things are the part of my presentation, whatever I am doing here. Each and every explains how exactly things are changing and the changes are happening. The storing of the water in the certain dams and usage of that water for the power generation. Here, the value of water, because when the person using the water, it is like a value of money. Value of money, it is different for different people. If I give 100 rupees to a small child, he will think how to spend that 100 rupees in a different way. He values that money, 10 rupees in a different way. If I give the same 100 rupees to a person of the age of person, 30, 40 years, he will think the use of that 100 rupees in a different way. Like that, water, even though it's a common commodity, but way of thinking, when you are thirsty, you will understand the importance of the water. When you are hungry, you will understand the importance of the food. Something like that, which is very difficult to gauge and put the word. That is why, in general, they have to value of water. And since man should understand the importance and its source and its use effectively. That is some of the factors which you have to consider. Of course, this water sector's vulnerability, whatever this particular presentation is there, which clearly reflects the water usage in various ways and all, which is presented here. Of course, freshwater stress. Even though, as I already told, good quantity of water is available in the seashore, along the seabelt, whatever I told already, our cities like Chennai or our Calicut or the Bombay or our other cities like West Bengal, Calcutta. There are areas where the water scarcity, since water quality problem, that is a major issue. Not only salinity, they cannot use that water because it is saline water, total dissolved solids, connectivity is more. Several other issues like some of the areas, arsenic is there, fluoride is there. Suppose if you go for the groundwater again, in relation to TDS, other parameters like cyanide, of course, in some of the mining areas, that is also one of the other contaminant factor what we notice from one of the recent study. So all these things which we have to think positively, how best that can be tackled, controlled, or treated effectively so that we can use the water. Because treating the water is not the major, technology is not the major problem. Because for technology is available, recycle, reuse, recovery of the wastewater, recovery of the minerals from the wastewater. So many things are there, but sometimes the cost is more than the recovery cost of the material. When these things are there, prevention is better than cure. Better to not to pollute. That is very, very important because after the pollution, investing again on that and treating it, it is not a good message. Better to take care of your health before you go to bed. Once you go to bed, there is a different story. You have to go for the treatment, you have to invest, you have to control, you have to do the dieting. So many things are there. Before going to that one only, try to take care of your health like that. Before the situation becomes the worst, better to take all the precautionary measures so that we'll be having a peace life and peace living can be continued. Impact of climate change on water. How exactly things are happening? Climate drivers like precipitation, temperature, and evaporative demand, which I already told. Non-climatic drivers like land use change, land use pattern, because some of the area is purely for the agriculture purposes. There also some of the different type of crops will be grown depending upon the water requirements. And construction management, because now, as you know, in the urbanized sector, wherever you go, construction of the villas, construction of the apartments, which is going on. At the same time, construction of reservoirs, which is very, very important. New tanks are badly required to use the water. As I already told, once I told, yes, old tanks, wherever it is there, visit those tanks, increase the storage capacity. That is one portion. But other portion is how exactly new reservoirs can be constructed without just letting the water and reaching the finally the ocean or seashore. Use that water effectively before it goes that point, because here only we can control. Where all it is possible, construct the reservoirs. It will be underground reservoirs. It will be towns, cities, anything like that. If the storm water or runoff water is generated, more water is generated, nearby that only, depending upon the quantity of water, construct the storage reservoirs. So there only you treat that water, use that water at least for the local gardening and local cleaning of the roads, driveway, whatever it may be. You can use that water effectively for the eco balance. That is very, very important, because letting the water to the nearby Nalla, finally that reaches the other point where finally joins the seashore or ocean, anything like that. Again, it may contaminate. So better to, where all it is possible, arrest the water. It may be check dams or bunds, use it effectively so that we can easily protect our environment also. Pollutant emissions and water and wastewater treatment. This is very, very important. Water treatment or wastewater treatment is very, very important, where recycle, reuse, recovery of the minerals from the water, this is a dominant role. There is a need of the hour. In the days to come, we have to put it for each apartment. They should adopt the wastewater treatment plant, recycle, reuse it. There only zero discharge. We are not letting any water from our campus or from the apartment. We are using that water of the treatment. They should tell like that. Of course, here, the effective implementation of the rules and regulations from the government setup, it may be State Pollution Control Board or the authorities, maybe municipal BBNP or from the or any area you take, the municipalities or other authorities which are there, they should take the appropriate actions, because already rules and regulations are there. How effectively that rules and regulations are implemented, effectively strict action is taken. That is very, very important, because in the government of Government of India has made several changes in the amendments, in legislation. So many things have been taken place. But our request to the government authorities is implement the rules and regulations effectively. Implementation of the rules and regulations is very, very important. Without implementing, we cannot do anything. It will be only on records. Finally, the sufferers are the people. Finally, you will also be one of the sufferers. The authority who is going to implement, finally, he will also suffer, because he is a part of the family only. He may suffer a little bit later. Dear friends, you should understand, it is our property. It is not one man's property. It is everybody is equally responsible. When you talk about water and its maintenance or management or conservation, it is not from, it will not happen from one man. It should happen from the community. It should happen from the mass. 70% of global water withdrawals is for the irrigation. Of course, irrigation is one of the sector where our agriculture farmers, which are the backbones of the nation, we have to respect that one. We have to provide sufficient quantity of water to them for their survival. At the same time, without them, we cannot. Whatever we are taking in the urban area, it is all coming from the rural area only. Without those people, they grow and send it to us, we cannot. So, it is our primary duty to provide the sufficient quantity of water for the irrigation type of crops. Some of the crops, they may give plenty of water. Some of the plants, they may give less water. Of course, the authorities can easily decide and advise to the local community or to the farmers. They will act on those things. Water use increases with increasing temperature, and water quality degrades by higher water temperatures. And in some of the areas, dry season, and which affects the reservoirs and groundwater wells also. That is also happening, which we know, specifically in the drought season. Salt water intrusion along the coastal belt is a common thing, a salinization, which we have seen, and increase in flood magnitude and frequency. Because flood, earlier you take any of these things, because if the flood takes place far away from almost 1-2 kilometers of that only, the people houses are located. Now along the belt, maybe 10 meters, 40 meters, 30, 40 meters, we have our own houses, something like that, small book houses, or the fishermen, they'll be put their tents or something very, very nearby to that one only. Again, compromise with the local officers. This should go. Our local officers who are located, the guards who are located along the coastal belt, they should take utmost care, because if they compromise these small issues, where they are going to protect our environment, and it is the life of the people. And certain worst cases happens, finally nobody will be there. Whom to blame? Our system should be effective in restricting the laws. Of course, there are laws. If you take the Forest and Ecology Department, Ministry of Environment and Ecology, there are rules and regulations. How effectively they are implemented, that is very, very important. Only our request to the authorities, please act promptly, neatly, implement it, then cease association. All the time, we cannot sit that, oh, protect our environment, something like that, we cannot. But at the same time, when the changes are taking place, we have to do an eco balance and go along with the environment. Of course, increase in flood, that is it. Climate change, challenges existing on water resource management, practiced by causing trends not previously experienced and adding new uncertainty. That is also one of the parameters. Adaptation. How exactly this can be adapted? Agriculture, producing more from the less. How exactly less water can be used? Now we could have seen there are some sensors. So when you go for the toilet room or bathrooms, there are some sensors. If you just put your hands, then only the water will come. Automatically, maybe a few seconds the water stops. Because that is a water saving technology. There are, you are into the toilet room, some of the people they all adopted. That we have to encourage. But here, how effectively those sensors are working. As these sensors lose their capacity, loss will be more sometimes. Because automatically, if small mosquito or a small cockroach runs, that water will start coming, again it will waste. Some of these things we have to, technically, we should be sound in adapting the technologies. Then only technology work effectively and people will be going to use the technologies. And saving water in industry, pollution control measures, minimum usage of the water, maximum benefit. Municipal conservation, supply and demand. You could have seen so many municipalities, they are getting the award now. They are implementing the rainwater harvesting or artificial recharge or groundwater recharge technologies. And at the same time, they are giving the directions to all the houses also. 30-40, you should provide some water pits in the houses, or again 40-60, you should provide the groundwater recharge measures, something like that. These should be effectively implemented and government should help them by giving subsidies and all, so that people definitely they can adapt. And of course, these rules are in Karnataka, these things are there. But I hope that in India, some of these things should be adopted effectively. I'm using the word effectively because I have seen, even in Karnataka, even though it adopted, there are houses without any technologies. With their contact, they have permitted. That should not happen. It may be in the, not only for Karnataka, entire, other than it may be Maharashtra, it may be Tamil Nadu or Kerala, whatever it may be, other neighboring states or India as a country. But all government agencies, they should act promptly, neatly, honestly, effectively. Then only the things can be implemented properly and they'll get the better results. Need for better policies. Of course, some of the policies, existing policies are there. Only our request is implement the policies effectively without any changes and without any compromise. That is very, very important. Need to slow population growth. This is very, very important. As the countries like India, where the population, irrespective of the caste, like Hindu, Muslim, Christians, all are one. When you are talking so many things, all are one, equal population sense. Everything should be two or whatever it may be. The rules and regulations are there. It applies to all, irrespective of the caste, religion. The government should act. Then we can salute the government. When the rules and regulations are proper, definitely we can respect the government. Or again, the bias in nature. One policy for that people, one policy for this caste. These are things really disturbing statements and information, which really disturb the society, which cannot be accepted. Government should act positively on these things also. Towards the blue revolution, of course, these are things which are very, very important. When all these things are implemented, of course, we can see green, clean, every way, and the world will be in a beautiful way. Adaptation technologies, infrastructure, equipments, and knowledge. Because change of the equipments is also important. That is also important. The need of the hour. Knowledge. We would have to enhance our knowledge by referring the journals or latest literature survey. So the things we have to. Being the student, please do the thorough literature survey. Whatever the work you are doing, go to library, sit in the library, take the journals which are available and latest journals. Go to the website also. Download certain things. Identify the gaps. Once you identify the gaps, with the same content, when you take single content, observe 5-6 authors till the latest what they have done. Immediately observe where are the gaps. That gaps is an objective for your study. Please try to refer the journals and discuss with your senior staff, the professors or other research fellows. Definitely you will get good ideas and you can move forward. Of course, how exactly the reduce the vulnerability and increase in resilience can be done. Of course, technology, as you know, new constructions, sea walls, drip irrigation, other micro irrigation. Of course, these things we have already adopted, which are water saving technologies that is going there. Soft technologies like management options, knowledge, of course, strategies in following the management also that can also be implemented. Combination of both hard and soft, how exactly this can be adopted and the strengthened. Those are the things are shown here that can be, of course, examples of climate change adaptation technologies to water resources, corporation water supplies, increasing reservoir capacity, desalinate, interbasin transfer. That is also important because one state is getting more water, other neighboring state is suffering. See, we are brothers. We should have, I have already told in one of the slide, we should follow brotherly approach here. Nothing like that. Tomorrow you will not be there, I will not be there. As long as we are on that surface, let us be united. Let us be cooperative. Then only we can benefit each other. Otherwise, there will be no way. Only by exchange of words or by exchange of talk, something like that, will disappear. Let us work together for the better environment. Use grey water, improve water and all, reduce leakages, conserve, use economic instruments. Of course, some of the technologies which are here that you have to follow. And pollution protection. Enhance the treatment works. Reuse, reclaim, regrade, which I have already told. Reduce effluent volume of waste. Promote alternatives to chemicals. Of course, use of chemicals should be avoided. There are several chemicals that are eco-friendly. Try to use that chemicals which has ecological effects on the environment. Keeping that in mind, we have to follow. Irrigation system. Improve soil conservation. That is very, very important. Supplement irrigation from other sources like adding some as the nutrients. Develop biosaline agriculture technology. Of course, improve tilling practices. That is, of course, whatever the farm you are doing, some of the technology has to be changed. Advanced technology has to be used. Harvest rainwater. It may be artificial recharge, groundwater recharge, whatever it may be. Reuse adequately treated domestic water, which is given adaptation at demand side. What it can be done, that is also given here. Flood management. Build reservoirs and levees. Protect and restore the wetlands. Upgrade flood warnings. Reduce flood plain development, because use of the technology in flood management, use of advanced technology like using GIS, GPS is very important. That plays a dominant role. Of course, we have to use that one effectively, well in advance, so that we can predict and plan. Some of the things are required where we have to plan all the technology which is available, use it effectively. Technologies of water resources adaptation, water harvesting, which I already told, irrigation, how exactly it will be sprinkle irrigation or micro irrigation, maintenance and construction of the reservoirs and wells, which is already told. Irrigation reservoirs, all disintegration has to be done. Where all it is possible, either increasing the height of the dam or increasing the storage capacity. Some of the actions to be taken. When you are going to increase the storage capacity by raising the height, again, the submergence, backwater flow, all these factors has to be considered, because submergence will be more. Very, very good nutritious land will last because of this one. All these precautions should be taken. Of course, modern technologies like drip irrigation, groundwater recharge of wells, wastewater treatment, water transfer, water quality control. So these things has to be adopted for effective implementation. Of course, high technology, which is given here, which has to be followed. Technologies for adaptation in coastal zone, for protection, for retreatment, and for accommodation. All this technology has to be adopted for the effective usage of the water and all. Of course, some of the things which is given here, how exactly things are happening with the rising water table and all, changes in temperature which is given here, cascade of uncertainty in climate change prediction which is given here, which is of course self-explanatory. You can easily go through it. I will send the forward this PowerPoint presentation to your Iowa office or to the college so that you can use that one. Mitigation versus adaptation is very, very important. Since we are already committed to a global warming of about 2 to 4 degrees Fahrenheit over the next 40 years, we need to focus on, we have to forcible to adapt the soil maintenance of the water and the soil conservation in the next a decade, next 50 years we have to plan. Mitigation continue to rise in greenhouse gases. So these things we have to adapt. It may be soil, water, and conservation. Where the scientists and other people have to work together, and research is required on those things, which is policy responses. Again, state water policies, drought-prone area program. Of course, we have a really grateful government of India has already created a natural disaster monitoring authority. Similarly, each state has created either a drought monitoring cell. Now they renamed it as state natural disaster management cell, something like that. Whatever the natural disaster takes place, they are going to play a role by adapting the technology to it could be tsunami or other cases, biodiversity related to climate change and all, which is given here. That has to be followed here. Of course, barriers to increase the effectiveness. Here, how exactly, which are the things to be followed, which is given here. You can easily understand in a better way. To conclude all those things, finally, we feel that using seasonal and climate forecasts of the water management, which is very important, need to strengthen the research, because wherever you take the research, they should be implemented properly. I told the reputation of the work, redoing of the same work, that is what happening in the countries like India. Because somebody in IIT Bombay, some people is doing the work. Same in Bangalore, somebody is doing the same work. Because as researchers, we should refer the journals, we should share the information what exactly we are doing. Then only we'll come to know, oh, he's doing this one, he's doing this one. Then what other people are doing, if you know, better to identify gaps. That is your objective to move forward. This should happen, because that can happen only when all these are integrated. That is what is called as integrated water resources management. In sense, all the department, it may be minor irrigation or major irrigation or water resources department, urban development department or rural development department or agriculture department or fishery department, all these things come together. Departments. Then what exactly is going on there? Sit in a common platform, work for a better solution. That is the real research. That is what we can tell. And the things are happening. And as I already told, more awareness camps are required, because technology is available. There are people to develop the technologies only. All our researchers are doing it. Our major scientists are doing the same work. But how effectively that can be adapted, that is very, very important. Encouraging the reuse of water, reclamation or recovery of the water, recycling of these things are very, very important, which we have to follow. Humanity is conducting an unintended, uncontrolled, globally pervasive experiment whose ultimate aim is to contain global warming. That is what exactly is happening. But Mahatma Gandhi said that there are people in the world so hungry that God cannot appear to them except in the form of bread, which I told now. Because earlier I told, when there is the depth of the water can be easily understand only when there is no water, which I told. The compared to that one, we never know the worth of water till the well is dry. We will not understand the value of the money till your pocket is empty. We have to compare to those things. Those least able to cope and least responsible to global warming are the most affected in general. You could have seen how the drought, the seasons are happening now. The nation behaves well if it treats the natural resources. What is the natural resource? Our environment, forest. We have to, they are our assets. We must turn over to the next generation, increase and not impairing value. At least whatever the resources available, we have to keep the same thing at least. Parallelly, we have to do the eco balance for the next generation. The science that we do, we research, allow us to clean our air, improve our health, and leave our planet a better place for our children. So these are the data which I've collected from so many people. I sincerely acknowledge the researchers working in the areas of climate change. Second data obtained from Satish Moore and from other authors, various universities and all. I thank them on all those things. These are the major things. These are the major things which I thought I can share with you all, and so that anything is open for the further discussion, please. These are the major things which I thought I can share with you. Of course, more than that, I would like to talk about our student chapter. This is in general. I would like to request all the students. You may think that why we have to take the student chapter membership. Dear students, generally we'll assume that as an engineering student, when you join to the second year BE, that in the third semester, where your real engineering is going to start. First year in general you are going to study. Second year onwards, that is third semester onwards. So 150 rupees registration plus 100 rupees per year. 3 years is left out, second year, third year, final year. Plus 150 rupees, that is 450 rupees plus GST, CST, whatever the amount is there. It all comes to about around 500, 550 rupees, something like that, that you have to pay. Number one. At the same time, 650 rupees as a student chapter registration. Suppose if you want to open a student chapter in the college, pay 650 rupees, that is one-time investment. And this membership, whatever the membership you have taken, that will be there till the completion of your degree. Since next 4 years or 3 years, till the completion of your degree, that will be there. Once you become a earner, you can take the membership of Institution of Indian Institute, whatever association member, IWA member. That is a different story. As a student member, this facilities can be used for another 3-4 years. Number one. At the same time, here, what are the benefits you are going to get? Once you take the membership, definitely you can easily contact your local chairman and the secretary. They will help you to take you to the field visits. Suppose water treatment plant or wastewater treatment plant, any high-rise buildings. Definitely, they will help you to take the field visits and all. Whatever the amount is collected, that you are going to send it to the head office via your local center, college to the local center. They will forward that to the head office, and this 50% of the amount will back to you. Suppose if you are paid 40,000 from your student membership to the head office, almost 20,000 will come back to you local center only. That can be used by the student. That can be via with the permission of our local chairman and secretary. That amount can be used for several programs, maybe World Water Day or World Environment Day or Engineers Day, something like that. To connect some programs, some awareness program, the amount can be taken from them. At the same time, your contact with the local chairman and secretary, that will help you a lot. Dear Guri College of Engineering students, my request is please keep in touch with your local chairman and secretary. They will help you to meet the contractors because they may help you in the internship programs. Suppose now, as you know, in the autonomous institutions are as per latest UEC, AICT guidelines, that will be help you a lot so that you can go for the internship programs. They'll send some contractors. They'll tell some contractors, see, contribute some amount, some caps or some function we are going to host. Why can't you host something like that? They'll tell to the contractors. At the same time, your contact with our engineering staff, the staffs who are working in the department, it helps you a lot to bridge the gap between the students and academia students and the working professionals. You are going to see the live projects which are going on in the government setup, number one. At the same time, they will interact with you. You become friendly. Tomorrow, after the completion of your degree, you may become an entrepreneur. You can do on your own. Or they may help you to recommend you to some of the companies also, maybe Shobha Developers, LLNT, Larsen and Turbo, something like that. Some companies, they may guide you, or you go to that company. Or they may tell that, hey, these students are highly energetic and they have seen all the practical things. Why can't you recruit something like that? At the same time, more recruitment, that too in the civil engineering department, which will happen only in from the government setup, it will happen only in the civil engineering degree students. When that come into picture, the engineers who are working there, they are the panel members, they are the expert committee members sitting in the interview panel. They can help you to get the jobs also. So, my dear students, think positively. Please try to take the membership so that it will help you a lot to bridge your career. Tomorrow you may become a contractor, or if you are going for the abroad, all these things, practical exposure helps you a lot. Or whatever you want to do, or you may become a teacher. Everything, if your contact with the local chairman and secretary helps you a lot to build your institute also. As you know, each institute should be having a student chapter, something like that. That is going to boost us in getting the marks either from NAC, or from NBA, something like that. Definitely, colleges will also be benefited, and students will also be benefited. So, you please keep in touch with our engineers working in the sector, and definitely you can take the benefit from those things. So, I thank our Deogiri Institute of Engineering and Management Studies, Aurangabad College, the principal and the head of the Department of Engineering, and the webinar coordinators, starting from Dr. Patan and all. At the same time, I also thank our Aurangabad Center, Aurangabad Center committee members, starting from our good friends like Kulkarni and Sadgir and Sarda. They are also there. And all the members of our engineering college, the management committee, like Dr. Ullas Shirulkar and Gajendra Gandhi, they are also the members of there. I thank one and all, even Sunil Shinde sir, head of the engineering department, that is what exactly 1 year. I thank one and all. If anything is there, I think it's open for the discussion. I think it's over to Patan or somebody can take the initiative to move forward.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, Dr. H.K. Ramaraju, sir. We are very much sure that your experience in water vulnerability, adaptation, and climate change will definitely help students and all professionals who want to pursue their career in the environmental engineering and water resources engineering. So, moving towards the question and answer session, I would like to ask anyone of the student or participants, please unmute yourself if you have any questions. So, Dr. Ramaraju sir with us. Please, anyone is having any question, please ask right now.
Sir, Dr. Ramaraju sir, the question is from my side. In Batu, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technical University, as per their syllabus, there is a seminar and a mini project. There are two aspects are included in syllabus.
Yeah.
So there is a question related to mini project. In SY, there is a mini project. It is related to field-oriented mini project, and student has to develop their own project, mini project under mini project heading SY.
Yes.
And in TY, there is a community-based project.
Yeah.
So there are two aspects. As per your opinion, which are the projects they can continue with by following their syllabus, and which methodology they can use to complete their mini projects? So
yeah.
I request to kindly guide them.
See, mini project in the sense what will happen? It is between you and your guide. You can have a discussion, thorough discussion with them, because generally there are a guide also. You can have a discussion with them, and whatever the plans you have, that you can easily carry out as a pilot study. Suppose you take that community-based project, something like that. Even community, still there are problems like water treatment technologies. How best a small eco-friendly technology can be adapted at the local level? A pilot study can be done. It may be using the filters and all, materials. You have a discussion with your guides. That is very, very important. Which is feasible, economical, and sustainable. Definitely, you can come out with local technologies. You can have a discussion with your guide, and you can carry out pilot study. Sometimes you can involve, you can take your friends also, one or two, or it depends upon the college. They may restrict that individually they have to do. At that time, you have to follow the instructions of your guide, and you can do it. Not only like that, any time you take, any work you take, any high-rise buildings, structural buildings are constructed. There only, how best whatever the tar steel, whatever the major steel we are using, that can be replaced by bamboo. You can have seen how exactly they are using that, the strong strength and all that is that has got more strength than our MS steel and other things. What they have noticed, something like that. A live project can be taken up after discussing with your guide and the field workers. You can have a discussion with them. Definitely, that is not a problem, because here what will happen? Now earlier 200 credits, now it is gone. Now they have come to 175 credits. In 175 credits, only some of the things which that too in the civil engineering branch, we cannot study some of the things. So at that time, definitely you can plan and have a discussion with your guide and think positively, and you can do that project. Professor Kulkarni sir, namaskar.
Namaskar,
sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for your explanation. If anybody is having any question right now, unmute yourself and ask the questions. Anyone, please. If anyone is having any question,
Take down my email also, hkramaraju@gmail.com, small letters. HK, H for Hyderabad, K for Kerala, HK Rama, RAMA, RAJU, Ramaraju @gmail.com. You can send your any doubts, clarifications via email also. And my mobile number is 9845625608. Definitely you can ask your questions via mobile or WhatsApp message. Definitely you can send it. There is no problem at all. How are you, Kulkarni sir?
Very fine,
Patan,
sir.
sir.
I'm in Aurangabad now. I'm
Ramaraju
in
sir.
Aurangabad.
Okay, fine, good.
Sir,
Patan, sir, Kulkarni sir is available.
Yes, yes. To propose
Shinde sir,
vote of
Shinde sir. Shinde
Hello.
sir,
Yes, sir.
I am audible.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Sir, Ramaraju sir,
Yes.
I have one question for you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, now we are going through pandemic.
Ah.
So during pandemic, there is a frequent lockdown is there. Last year we have 1 year lockdown.
Yes.
So that will definitely good effect on climate change. So can it be possible after every 3 years there should be 1 month lockdown for good climate change?
Sir, lockdown is good for the government officers or for the college staff like that. But you could have seen lockdown and all, really, our economy last Sunday could have seen several deaths. And you could have seen the people suffering from that. Economy is gone down. So many things, really, you cannot imagine. But the person who is having the money definitely can, even 1 year, if he didn't go for the job also, definitely can lead the life. But what about the other people? Daily wage workers. They have to earn on that day, they have to survive. Think in that line, because it is very difficult. As in general person, what I'm thinking is, lockdown is not the solution for anything. Only thing is, it is like a married wife, in simple. It may be corona and all, we have to think that we have to survive with them. In sense, we have to go ahead amicably, mutually by discussing. Of course, by taking all COVID guidelines, following the COVID guidelines, we have to go ahead with the things. But lockdown, breakdown is not the solution for this COVID. That is what I think.
No, not for COVID. I am asking for climate change, climate effect.
It's a climate change. You could have seen. I think maybe in the month of March, April, some of the people, they took the Ganga River pictorial representation. How exactly Ganga River was there earlier. And after lockdown, this breakdown, everything was banned. Maybe the May first week, why it was viral. One CD was viral in via WhatsApp and all. You could have seen the water, the quality was so good. Even the fish and aquatic life was so good. Really, it was very happy to see that one. Because, automatically the quality improves, so many changes, because industry stops, letting the effluent stores nearby Nalla. All these things can be stopped. But that is not the solution for the, as you know, industrialization, urbanization is taking place. We have to go with the eco balance. That is what I can tell. This it may be climate change, anything like that. That is not the solution, because I cannot encourage. I mean, left to the authorities. But personally, I feel that it is not the solution. Only thing is we have to work hard and see that eco balance is maintained. At most, it is everybody's property. We have to take utmost care to protect our environment, to protect our whatever our issue, our available things are there. We have to take utmost care to see that everything is safeguarded positively, used for the, benefited for the next generations also.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. To propose vote of thanks and some information regarding about the local center Iowa Aurangabad, I would like to invite Dr. UD Kulkarni sir, Chairman Iowa Aurangabad Local Center. Please, sir.
Thank you, sir. I extend warm welcome and thanks to Professor Ramaraju. I listened to his entire lecture. He has given a very nice information. And at the same time, two more things he has shared. One is about the student chapter, which was very interesting. He has urged upon everyone to become the member of student chapter. And he has also highlighted what are the benefits of becoming student chapter member. At the same time, with reference to community projects, he has given some ideas. And now you'll find that as far as this national education policy is concerned, these community projects will have more space in the academics. So that's why we have to really understand what is that community project. And once we do it, later generations will know how better community projects can be done. So that's why somewhere we have to make a beginning, and that's why for that beginning, Dr. Ramraju's suggestion was excellent. So I again thank Dr. Ramaraju for sharing his views on this community project also. So let us conclude the lecture now. Thank you all.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Kulkarni
sir.
sir.
Yes. Over to you, Sindhu.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ramaraju sir, for sharing your views related to water, adaptability and vulnerability. Thank you very much, Dr. Sadgi sir, for giving such a resource person, great resource person for today's webinar. Thank you very much, Dr. UD Kulkarni sir, for giving permission to organize this webinar with our Devgiri Institute of Engineering Management Study. And thank you very much, Dr. A.S. Pathan, for very nicely you have coordinated all the things. Thank you very much. I declare that the webinar is over. Thank you very much once again. Thank you, sir. Patan